Forthcoming as Canberra take the field.
Meninga taking the Raiders down. Twice they've been here, and that was in years 89 and 90 when they took out the Winfield Cup. Is that an omen? Meninga the leader, and the other troops are Mullins, Nadruka, Boyle, Hoppy, Wood, Stewart, Fritz, Walters, Lomax, Furner, Pongia and Croker. Tim Sheens is their coach. And Eastern Suburbs are going to run from right to left. Matthew Wood is a key player. He takes the place of Laurie Daly. And Steve Roach on the sidelines.
Yes, thanks, Ray. Great crowd support here for the Canberra Raiders. They're obviously the favourites here. A bit of a breeze favouring Eastern Suburbs in the first half. I've never seen a ground in such good conditions. One thing the players will be worried about is landing on the middle of that cricket pitch at the Wacker. It's not a pleasure to land on, Ray.
Well, you land more heavily than most blockers, so you should know. Graham Annesley is the man in charge of our Friday night football encounter. Eastern Suburbs versus Canberra should be a good game, and Mullins gives the ball away to Fritz to take it back on the first encounter between the attack and the defence. Meninga up to take a forward play. Very early in the game. I wonder, will that be the norm for the night? This is Lomax.
Well, he almost pushed players out of the way, Mel, to get involved there. And I think after backing up from Monday night, that's the best ploy, to get involved as quickly as possible, get into the flow of the game. Meninga obviously very keen to do that as the ball back to Stewart. Kicks on the short blind side. And Rod Silver allows the ball to bounce, takes it on the first.
One of the excitement players of the game is Rod Silver, and he's brought down just 30 metres away from his own line. And Stewart spent quite a bit of time out on the park in training sessions over the last couple of days, just working out where the lines were going to be, and we went through that routine again prior to the match kicking off. This is O'Dwyer, a short pass up for Casato. He has his legs taken by David Furner. Now he sweeps it back in the opposite direction for Salvatore, and he plonks it down the field towards Mullins, 10 out from his own line. Brett Mullins, along with Jason Taylor, on the bench on Monday last. Neither of them got a run, and as Phil Gould said, that was the only disappointment that he experienced all night. David Furner, 20 metres away from his own line, through the hands of Stewart. It's with Pongia, and this Eastern Suburbs defence has clicked into gear immediately. They've had a fortnight's break, but it's proven practically impregnable for some sides. As Stewart finds the line, and he's picked it up, hasn't he? Exactly where he left it on Monday night. Finding the line about 19 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line.
It was very interesting at that dinner you were talking about earlier, Ray, with Tim Sheens. Made it very obvious that he wanted people to know that Ricky Stewart hasn't been troubled by a groin injury this season. It's in fact a new injury, a hip injury, the hip flexor. And he just wanted people to know that with the representative games coming up, it will be a fit Ricky Stewart available for further selection.
Appleby it is that plays the ball, and Gaffey, a former Raider himself, he's been one of Eastern Suburbs' chief contributors. O'Dwyer is able to make it out to the 30-metre line. I do fancy that if Canberra can hold this Eastern Suburbs pack, that will take them more than halfway to victory here tonight. Short pass by Freeman on a wide blindside, finding his captain Salvatore. They're 41 metres away from their own line. Opening minutes of Friday night football, and off the left foot, Jeff Orford, he puts a kick across the ground. It had a bit of danger written across it. Mullins is with it. There's no problem now. But Casato wraps Mullins up. It was just a kick that was to vacant pasture, and it could have led to a very heavy penalty for Eastern Suburbs, that is. Played by Sean Hoppy. Now Pongia angles back in behind the play of the ball. Steve Walters in it, acting half, and Stewart says it's time for me again. He grubbers this kick down to Rod Silver. He gets an awkward bounce, Silver, but kept his eyes on the ball and made no mistake as he took it back towards the Canberra defence. Appleby taking it away again from dummy half. He's Played very well, Appleby. He can be a little bit enigmatic in a game. He can be hot one moment and cold the next. But when I think of rugby league's enigmas, the bloke on the left, he seemed to wear that title more than anybody. Of course, I'm talking about Lord Ted Goodwin. Freeman. A comment from the sideline, Steve.
Yeah, Ray, Eastern Suburbs making it very easy for the Canberra defence. They're only running from dummy half in their own half. I think this sort of ground, the whacker, you can throw the football around a bit.
Brett Mullins. And Mullins has gone into touch. Now, will it be a penalty? No, it's going to be a scrum. Annesley ordering the scrum just outside the 20-metre line. So that's a little break that Eastern Suburbs have been looking for, Ted.
Well, it's just a bad error there by Mullins, I thought, on the 20. He shouldn't have went out there. Stewart's kicking. He's kicked twice inside from 10 metres from the sideline. His kicking game is going very well. But it's Eastern Suburbs under attack, and I'd watch him really well.
Orford taking the play down within 5 metres of the line. Incisive run by Jeff Orford. Silver to dummy half. Brendan Hall is one of several troops on the blind, and they've absolutely walked through for a try. Brendan Hall has strolled through the Canberra defence on the blind side to score the easiest of tries.
Well, it wasn't only on this play that they strolled through the Canberra defence, but Jeff Orford did the same thing the previous play to set up this chance for Brendan Hall to go across. And here you'll see it. Very easy break made here. You see that Boyle stayed on the outside and the defence on the inside. Really just no communication there at all between the two centres, and that set up this try. Mel pushed off, did very well, Brendan Hall, but a softness about that.
So 4 points to nil after 5 minutes to Eastern Suburbs. And what looked like it was a very tight battle out there with both defensive lines unbreakable. Suddenly Canberra has opened up so easily, Ted, as Brendan Hall now lines up this attempted conversion. 9 metres in from touch. 21 out. A slight breeze with him, according to Blocker. He's brought it around nicely, and the flags go up. Good kick by Brendan Hall. Eastern Suburbs leading Canberra 6-0 in Friday night football.
Canberra right.
And welcome back to the WACA ground. Eastern Suburbs a try after just 6 minutes of this game, scored by Brendan Hall and converted by the same player. And this is only the third tackle on the first set of 6 following the kickoff. Tassel wrapped up and put down 35 out from his own line. On the sideline, Steve Roach again.
Well, the try was scored. Mal Meninga didn't come up in the line, and I was watching the Canberra Raiders warm up earlier, and Mal looked like he was stiff and sore. So he didn't look like he was running freely. That's probably a thing from Monday night after the State of Origin.
Played by Sean Hoppy.
Steve made mention of the fact that Eastern Suburbs just running from dummy half. We don't expect anything different from that. They don't give anything away. The defence has been very strong here, taking Fritz on. Good tackle low there by Gaffey. They just play very good percentage football, and they lead by 6. As Matthew Wood drills the ball in behind the defence, but Rod Silver in good position.
Silver about 5 metres out from his own line as he starts his fresh attack for Eastern Suburbs. Freeman a dummy half. Just simple stuff. But that's the normal in the modern day of rugby league, with Casato now tackled, and Canberra found inside the 5 by referee Annesley. So the penalty 25 metres out from their own line. Just the one penalty. This, in fact, is it. Hall taking the line kicks. And That's a very, very accurate kick, finding it about 8 metres into Canberra's area. Tim Sheens, the Canberra coach, he would be concerned about the ease with which that first try came. Salvatore plays the ball. Away on the left for Freeman, then across the face of one, picking up Hall. Murray tries to go inside. He's brought down 30 metres out from the Canberra line. Freeman across, finds Casato, and he's wrapped up and pulled down. Casato has forced his way into this top grade side, into the run-on side, and this is Salvatore, 20 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs looking the far more dangerous of the two. Back from Lowry. I thought he was going to pass to Freeman, but he didn't, and now he'll be forced over the touchline. And another scrum will go down some 10 metres away from the Canberra line.
Well, some good defence there from Canberra. Much more urgency in that. We've already seen a Canberra player taken over the sideline in Brett Mullins. Bit of tit for tat there with Lowry going over. Had one more tackle to go. We'd have seen Eastern Suburbs go to the air. They have a lot of success with that part of their game, the kicking game. Now Canberra feed the scrum 10 out from their own line, and Nadruku, his first touch of the football.
Oh.
And he didn't have it for long.
He certainly did not, but they were fortunate that the ball went backwards and it was cleaned up by David Furner. He's 15 away from his own line, and it's out for Pongia to again take it back. Canberra, on every set of 6, at least one of the forwards, and most often 2, they angle back into the marker area, hoping that they will split open and that there'll be a gap there. Walters is tackled, but Eastern Suburbs are inside the 5. And the penalty kick for touch from the centre of the ground by Ricky Stewart. It requires a big kick, but he finds it easily. 8 metres into Eastern Suburbs area. Tap to be taken by Steve Walters. Fritz, very strong runner of the ball. He doesn't hold anything back. It's stop, and then he goes to full pace, and you know that you've tackled him. Lomax, a different style of player. He's brought down 25 out from the line.
Very deep back line here, Canberra, and they go that way. Matthew Wood got Meninga inside. Good front on defence there. Rips his pants off and puts him to ground.
Sato was the chief tackler. They keep coming to the right. Stewart away. Matthew Wood plugs it in behind. Canberra get a good bounce, but Silver goes high. Good work by Rod Silver. That could have been easily a Canberra try.
Well, we've seen a knock on here, ruled by referee Annesley. Interesting to see whether, I gather it was Appleby picking up from dummy half.
I think it was
There's
Sean
Silver.
Hoppy.
Like, I didn't see a knock on there.
I think Peter Sean Hoppy popped his hand in there, and we've seen the knock on. The referee missed that one.
Well, we've got a feed for Canberra, so a great opportunity here for them to attack.
Stewart with the long pass. Wood picks up Boyle, playing in the number 40 jumper. The ball is squeezed out, picked up by Gaffey and cleaned up by Eastern Suburbs just out from their own line. So Canberra really had a golden opportunity there, and it's been frittered away.
Well, he's had an unhappy start to this game, David Boyle. I thought he was at fault in that first break made, which led to the try. On that occasion, really just surrendered possession very easily. Good work here from Brendan Hall, the try scorer, taking it 29 out from his own line with a good run. Now Gary Freeman looking to pick up men out wide, and they've made a Bushry Gaffey.
Inside pass, picks up Freeman. Freeman, that's off the feet. That should be play on. Annesley, I don't know that he's seen it the same as I. He's played the advantage. Nadruka is with it for Canberra. 5 metres on his own side of the halfway. Eastern Suburbs have got 2 players at least out of the line. They're getting back onside. A good chance to attack if they spread it wide. Stewart shows it, but takes the tackle right on halfway. Casato leading the way in defence for Eastern Suburbs. Now Fritz, who's leading the way for the other forwards in the hit-ups. As I said earlier, leaving nothing at home. He takes it all up to them. Croker put down 11 into East area. Jason playing at lock again tonight. He's been all over the park. He's done his job well, though, for Coach Tim Sheens. Matthew Wood finds the line, only about 5 metres away from the Eastern Suburbs try line. Nicely weighted kick. I don't know that he meant to go that close, though.
Well, until that final tackle where they did spread a couple of passes, it was very noticeable a lack of support in this Canberra Raiders outfit. They're sending their player up pretty much one out. Nobody going, nobody showing the necessary respect. Unless they rectify that part of their game, they're not going to have a chance against Eastern Suburbs, who defend very strongly when there's only one man bringing the ball forward.
2-2 the scrums. Of no significance, really, with the 4 of them going along with the feed. Gaffey will play at centre of the park. These matches for Nigel Gaffey are games that he'd like to win, being a former Raider himself. Interesting to note, when they met last year, it was only in round 11. I mean, that's the only time they played last year. East beat Canberra by 24 points to 8. And since Canberra came into the league, they've played 22 times, and Canberra has beaten East 12-10. I submit to you that Canberra would have beaten a hell of a lot more opponents by a much wider margin than just 2 games. I wasn't aware that Eastern Suburbs have always offered a problem for Canberra, so it seems.
And that'll again be the case tonight, Ray. Good touch finder there for Eastern Suburbs. Finds touch 12 metres out.
6-0 in favour of Eastern Suburbs, and we've got this scrum packing 10 metres away from the Canberra line. Annesley did have something to say there to Quentin Pongia. I'm not sure what it was about. Obviously an incident that occurred in back play that Annesley waited for the first opportunity to come back and talk to him about. Hoppy now, he's wrapped up. 12 out from his own line. Steve Roach.
Yeah, Quentin Pongia was called out for a high tackle on Gary Freeman. Gary Freeman ran off Jason Tassel, and Pongia, his New Zealand teammate, just caught him a bit high.
How did it look?
It looked pretty ordinary, actually. It was a bit high.
Now, Ferner loses the ball when he gets up. Annesley doesn't worry about the fact that it was not a correct play, the ball. I think Annesley felt, well, it was raked out by East, and he played the advantage. Stewart puts the deep kick down. Appleby goes back. He comes away off his own 20-metre line, runs away from Rod Silver, and then is wrapped up by Sean Hoppy. Scott Murray playing in the centres. He has played there quite often for Eastern Suburbs. Luke Ricketson is the player that East could well miss out there tonight. I know Peter's been a rap for Ricketson's defence this year in matches we've seen. Now, just looking at East getting a replacement ready on the sidelines, and we picked up a shot of Big Sal. I'm wondering whether he might be coming off shortly. Mullins comes away from his 20-metre line. He puts on an arc and gets away from Gary Freeman. Scott Murray does well, head-on tackle.
He's had a great start to this game. Scott Murray's defence has been outstanding. With the ball in his hands, he opens up something nice for his outside men. It was interesting to note that he did move into 5'8" for that last scrum. So East with the luxury of being able to move both Murray and Hall between the 5'8" and centre position.
Pongia.
Oh, good shot front on there from...
That'll be Tassel, Pete.
It is.
Plays in the headgear, and my goodness, he's always been one of their better players, Tassel. He like Casado. In fact, both these second rowers didn't look like making the top grade in the run-on side at the start of the year, but here they are tonight for one of the big matches of the year for both clubs. This is Mark Prothero right on the halfway mark now to play the ball back to Jeff Orford. Jeff, a winger, of course, but playing in the centres to fill this gap left by Luke Ricketson. Out and away for Nigel Gaffey. Gaffey proving hard for the Raiders. He always is able to bring 2 and 3 into him. And sometimes that can leave you short on the outside. It can leave a gap like the one Freeman just ran through. Now he picks up Prothero on the extreme right. He gets away from Stewart. Mullins was able to pull him down long enough for Meninga to come in and secure. But there's a chance here for the Roosters. Freeman, Prothero now. Round the corner ball. Orford got it away for Lowry. On for Rod Silver. Back it goes again now for O'Dwyer. He's very close to the line. Pulled down 2 metres out from the line.
He's lost the ball. Canberra have come up with it, and it took a great tackle from behind. Brett Mullins finally coming up with the ball, but razzle-dazzle stuff there from Eastern Suburbs, all but scoring, keeping the ball alive. Here's Rod Silver getting the ball away to O'Dwyer. Now he nearly spins out of this tackle to score. The ball knocked down by Lomax, and Mullins there to clean up.
Well, if it was knocked down by Lomax,
Offside.
Peter, and I'm not disagreeing with you, it should have been a penalty to Eastern Suburbs. I don't think you're wrong, but it should have been a penalty to Eastern Suburbs. if it was knocked down by Lomax. Annesley obviously didn't see it that way. He believes that O'Dwyer turned it up cold. Now, the clearing kick by Rick Stewart is taken by Silver, and he brings it out 40 metres and further, 45 metres. Canberra just a couple of times on this right-hand side of the ground have been exposed. I'm not sure what the problem is. Now, Scott Murray, 10 metres into Canberra's area. Away from O'Dwyer, through the hands of Freeman, wide for Lowry, and Lowry's wrapped up without any gain in ground. They are in the centre of the park. Now Freeman again. Lets a decoy go inside, turns it outside. Gaffey is with it. He plays it 35 out on 5. Freeman puts it in the air. It's not a bad bomb. Murray's coming fast. Mullins is under it. Mullins is safe. He comes away outside his 10-metre line, but only just. I don't know that Brett Mullins is running with
he's
a lot of
himself
freedom.
there.
Look at him, Pete.
Yeah, he's clutching up around the rib area. He's in some trouble out there. You can see he took that tackle very softly. Took the bomb well. Got outside Murray's chase. This is where he hurts himself, coming in and straight away clutching the side.
This is Fritz.
And leaving the field, Brett Mullins and number 15, Ken Nagus, going on as Lomax takes the ball outside his own 30.
Well, another one of the Canberra big names is off the park. They started without Belcher, without Daly. Now they've lost Brett Mullins.
And now they've lost the ball. A mistake made there, a handover. Salvatore playing it 35 out. Eastern Suburbs have 6 tackles.
Gaffey.
Number 4, Brett Mullins.
6-0 in favour of the tri-coloured side from Bondi. Played by Casato. Back for O'Dwyer. He got a shocking play, the ball. They've coughed it up, Eastern Suburbs.
What about the cutout pass from Gary Freeman? Jason Tassel got his head in the road. And Nagus takes the ball out. One of the rare occasions where the pass doesn't find its mark from Gary Freeman.
Strangely enough.
Is Nadruku away?
Yes, this is the Fijian import, and look at the speed. He's run away from 2. He steps inside Silver, loses his footing. Silver comes again. He fends him off. Oh, Nadruku. Oh, he's a Ratu.
Oh, he's going to be a crowd pleaser for a long, long time. He's made an enormous impact, and there's the smile on Tim Sheen's face. Well, as good a smile as you're going to get in a game of football. And he did it all himself. Got outside his man. And that's plenty to do. Beat a couple of players. The big step inside Silver. Let's have a look at the lead-up play. Lomax bumps out of Gaffey's tackle. Good quick hands from Meninga. Well taken by Nadruku, and just too much pace.
I don't know why Prothero was in there, but he was. And look at this former Fijian rugby international, Noah Nadruku, the big chief from Fiji.
Bring back some memories, this one, Ted.
Well, yes, what can I say? He's an exciting player. He's running down the sideline. But like Ray, you said, Prothero, why did he go in there? And look at the big step. He falls over here. Now watch his fend. He's got a long arm here. He just pushes off Silver, sorry, and he just over a try. Like you said, Ray, the crowd are going to love this man.
Are they what? I'm not real wrapped in the way he put it down, but never mind. The 4 points are on the board. Tim Sheens is happy. Canberra's happy. And Noah Nadruku scores yet another try in the Winfield Cup. He could prove to be one of the buys of the season. David Ferner is 22 metres out. 10 metres in. His side trailing 6-4. A chance to equalise. Breeze fractionally against Canberra. It's across the face, no goal, no change in score. Eastern Suburbs lead by 2 in Friday night football.
The winner of the Western Reds.
And And back here at the WACA ground in Perth, that's where we're telecasting this match tonight. Across Australia on the 9 network. Eastern Suburbs leading Canberra 6 points to 4. In that last passage, we saw Brett Mullins injured. What's the story, Steve Roach?
Yeah, Brett Mullins has got a bit of a rib cartilage injury, and Coach Tim Sheens is desperate to get him back onto the field.
Well, they're not easy things to come back from. Very painful rib cartilage injuries. But that's exactly what Canberra needed. They needed an individual effort to spark them. Eastern Suburbs looked to be getting on top. They certainly were on the scoreboard. Now there's just a bit more of a spring in the step of these Canberra players. The support players noticeably better. The ball back to Stewart. Well, a bad pass, just giving them a wrap, and they've come up with a mistake. Stewart should get a kick away here. No, he doesn't. Keeps it alive to Meninga.
Meninga again using Nadruka, who really torpedoes a pass across half of the ground almost. They're out on the 30-metre line, and Stewart is now going to get the kick in. It'll bounce up favourably for Rod Silva. 20 metres away from his own line. Good chase by Canberra, good defence. Gaffey using Appleby. Midway between the 20 and the halfway. Prothero. (6-4) Eastern Suburbs. Soft try for Brendan Hall, converted by him, and just a few minutes ago, for those that may have just joined us, the Fijian international union player Noah Nadruka, a 70-metre try. David Furner failed to convert as Freeman puts the kick down to Nadruka's wing now. That's the corner that he's guarding. Prothero on Nadruka. He tries to stand him up, but he ran slap bang into Jeff Orford. And he'll play at 15 out from his own line. I don't think anybody doubts the attacking ability of the Fijians. We've seen them in the Nissan and then the Coca-Cola Sevens, and there is no question about their ability to attack. 25 out from their own line. Canberra trailing by 2 then as Stewart unloads for Lomax to be tackled around the legs by Brendan Hall. Walters comes out when there's no markers. Lomax was asked to stay alive after playing the ball. He nearly went to sleep, but the Kiwi plays it 40 metres out. A shocking pass from Pongia. Stewart's able to get his kick in, however, and it'll be brought back because it wasn't going to find touch, and Mark Prothero comes across the ground, looks to pass and does, and Rod Silva away from Nadruka and away from Nagus, and eventually Fritz it is that wraps him up just short of the halfway mark.
Great run there from Silva. Great broken field runner. Eastern Suburbs now take the ball inside the Canberra half, but a couple of the Canberra players now starting to rise to the occasion. Steve Waller's dummy half work has been very good. Canberra now found inside the 5 metres. Penalty centre field, a quick tap attempted by Casado, but he thinks better of it. Fritz has played well for mine too. Ray, a player that Paul Vaughton and myself have discussed as maybe a chance of making the next Queensland State of Origin side. Maybe he needs to make a few more charges, but the ones he have made have been quality ones.
Brendan Hall then, finding the line. 20 metres out. Chance here for the Samsung Eastern Suburbs side. Appleby decides to pass on the first. It really wasn't necessary. O'Dwyer plays it. Now Freeman wide for Tassel. Runs into a shoulder charge from Pongia. It's a dangerous place to be trying shoulder charges if they miss. Freeman runs across from the right to the left and picks up Gaffey. Eastern Suburbs still with a couple of tackles. Salvatore held up and forced back. A metre from the line. Dummy half, Scott Murray. Freeman's calling for it to the right, obviously. Now for Tassel. Tassel's wrapped up by Pongia. This is their last. O'Dwyer for Freeman. Freeman then for Hall. It may have got a touch from Canberra. Nagus is with it anyway, so it doesn't matter. 2 metres out from his own line.
Enormous pressure there for Canberra. They did well to clean it up in the end. As I think it's Nadruka who picked up and dumped unceremoniously. Kicked out there. Interested to see which way the penalty goes. Well, it goes the Canberra Raiders' way. Orford not happy with the decision.
Annesley having a few words with Jeff Orford. Annesley telling Nadruka to get away and get back with the football. I'm not sure what Orford did here. got up and appealed to the referee as if to say, what about what he did to me? Let's have a look at it.
Well, he's appealing that Madruga kicked out, which he did do. And he kicked out on 2 occasions, so a little bit lucky there, the Fijian.
Penalty, nevertheless, goes to Canberra. And the tap to be taken 20 metres out from their own line. Here's Lomax. Walters. Pongia. Ferner now. Casado, the tackler. They're on the 40-metre line. Stewart. Appleby not reading the fact that he's playing against a fellow by the name of Ricky Stewart all that well. He gave himself a 40-metre run almost to go back and pick it up. He probably should have been thinking about falling back a little bit earlier, but then again, I suppose we've got to be fair to him. Stewart could put the long ball on and he could have a winger down the sideline.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Stewart put the short ball on either race. Rod Silver at fullback, at times standing 60, 70 metres back behind the straight line of defence for Eastern Suburbs, just begging for the little one to be put over with a good chase.
I saw Salvatore in a bit of trouble just a few moments ago. He could be having problem, I think, with a knee or ankle. Right leg. He's been doing some hobbling around. He's trying to get some action going there for that right leg of his. Now this is Nagus, and he's able to beat one. He beat him easily down the sideline. He's towing a player along. It was Brendan Hall. Scott Murray's been hurt. Scott Murray's in terrible pain, leg injury. He's come off the field quickly. Meninga's 40 metres out from the line. Eastern Suburbs, they've got 2 players out of the line, both injured. There's one further back down the ground. It's Appleby.
Yes, he was the man beaten. As a penalty awarded to Canberra here, beaten very easily by Nagus. Penalty for holding down, and there you see Scott Murray, is it?
This is Scott Murray hurt here, but further back down the park, they've called the chief trainer up to have a look at Appleby. Meantime, Canberra, they realise that Eastern Suburbs are on the ropes. It's only a matter of knocking them out. Fritz takes it up to the 10-metre line. Away to Ricky Stewart. Over for Matthew Wood. Inside ball for Jason Croker. 15 metres from the Eastern Suburbs line. Stewart again, and Matthew Wood again. Dummy to Meninga. Now they go for the line. David Boyle gets it out for Nagus, and Nagus picks up a try. It really had to happen.
Yes, they're in all sorts of trouble, Eastern Suburbs. They got one player out there in 26, Steve Deacon, but they were still short of numbers. And there you see Appleby bleeding profusely up around the nose area. While the try scorer comes back, Nagus puts his side in front. And this is how it happened. Stewart finds Matthew Wood. Now the inside dummy there, and we see the player in the headgear making the mistake. Ball over the top, well taken by Ken Nagus, and that's a typical backline movement from this Canberra team.
As you've seen, it goes out to Wood here. He dummies once, goes again, brings it back inside, and he throws a lovely little lob pass out to Nagus. And these chaps, they know how to score tries, and they love scoring tries.
Ken Nagus, one of the replacements, he's on there for Brett Mullins. He picks up the try, and Canberra, they grab the lead for the first time in the game.
And here you'll see the mistake made by Jason Tassel. As we freeze the play there, there's the player in the headgear, partly obscured as play continues, and he allowed the gap. Desperate attempt there by Casado to no avail, and the try scored. Ferner, a difficult conversion from out wide.
Handy piece of work in there by David Boyle. Young Ferner from the sideline gets it. Good kick by David Ferner. Canberra now leading Eastern Suburbs 10-6. And as you come back to Perth for this Friday night match between Canberra and Eastern Suburbs, This is the first tackle. Just saw the tail end of the kick-off, so you're not missing very much by the fact that we're coming to you live tonight. And just a few commercials during the night. Pongia. 10-6 in favour of the Raiders. And Noah Nadruka and Ken Nagus have been over for the Canberra side. Brendan Hall for Eastern Suburbs, but Canberra with 2 tries to 1 leading 10-6.
Steve Roach, some problems there for Eastern Suburbs. Any reports on the guys that have come off?
Yeah, Appleby's got a bit of a smashed nose. That was bad luck for Eastern Suburbs. He was on the field of play, and the trainers were trying to get the attention of the referee. That means that Eastern Suburbs were 1 down, so they only had 12 players to defend their line. That's when Canberra scored.
Well, I actually saw the 25, Shane Walker, try and go on and was called back, so that was the reason.
Yeah, he was on for Murray.
This is Gaffey.
What do you mean, a bit of a smashed nose?
Prothero. Yeah, what do you mean a bit of a smash nose?
Well, it was a smash, mate. It's a family TV show, isn't it?
Have you got any compassion at all? O'Dwyer playing the ball right on halfway. Freeman across for Lowry. There's a few Kiwis out there tonight, I'll give you the tip. Casado. Got a real international flavour about it, this one. Fijians, New Zealanders, Islanders. Salvatore. That's a good kick by Salvatore. Oh, gee, that was close.
Great work from Ricky Stewart. Came up with a try saver on Shane Walker. Beautiful kick in behind. And the referee conferring with the touch judge has found a penalty. That's for a high tackle. Yeah, Stewart told to keep the ball down, the tackle down. Well, he just had to put his body on the line, Ricky Stewart here. And that's what he did. Let's have a look. Oh, gee, it was a fairly high one, wasn't it?
That is Shane Walker, incidentally, on in 25 for Eastern Suburbs. Still taking stock of what they've done since the injuries. O'Dwyer. Tassel a dummy half. Lowry calling him around, but Lowry has held up himself. 5 metres from the line. O'Dwyer finding Freeman. He spears it out for Casado. Now Orford tries to go back in field. They're 5 metres out from the line, the Roosters. Casado sweeps it to the blind side for Salvatore. Did I hear Salvatore groaning with pain?
Certainly did. Look like his leg just gave way. You see the smash on the ground there. He knows he's done something. Probably a knee, one would imagine.
Well, Mal Meninga is just as concerned as anybody.
Well, it's an ankle or a knee. One of the joints gone there, and Salvatore, well, we heard the scream in pain. And even now, Salvatore very upset. I don't just think it's the pain there. I think he knows that this might be something that will keep him out of football for a little while. Let's hope that's not the case. A magnificent season.
Referee's called for the stretcher there.
Well, Big Mal, he was on the scene when it happened, and he immediately tried to lend assistance to Salvatore, but there was little that he can do. But a mark of sportsmanship again from the Australian captain.
Yeah, well, nobody likes to see this happen, especially to a nice guy like Salvatore.
That's where he did it, Pete. He did it one stride before he reached the defence. He put an awkward stride in.
Yeah, and trying to prop back there. And straight away, his reaction, as I say, I don't think it was all in pain. I think he understood straight away that there was something fairly seriously done.
That's a tragedy, not only for Eastern Suburbs, but Salvatore, he really prided that New South Wales jumper.
As I say, let's hope when he cools down, it's not going to be too serious. James Smith in 53 will be the replacement player coming on. We're into the last 2 or 3 minutes of this first half. Eastern Suburbs trailing on the scoreboard. Once Salvatore leaves the field, they are going to have a final shot here. Or danger time, and a generous round of applause from this crowd that's continued to build during this first half as Salvatore leaves the field.
Eastern Suburbs with a very, very deep and wide back line. Canberra, of course, have had time now to set their defensive line. They lead 10-6, the Raiders. We're coming up towards half-time. Freeman away for Brendan Hall. He tries to get the grubber in behind the defence. Sean Hoppy was half waiting for it.
Wasn't a bad idea there, Ray. Just that the kick didn't come off the boot the way that he wanted to. It was a very straight line defence from Canberra. He would have been kicking into open spaces. It was closed down nicely, and now you think Canberra would just close up this first half. They've built up a good lead. A bit scratchy early on, but they've done the right thing and got their game in order.
This is Lomax. Wrapped up and put away on his 30-metre line. David Ferner. Stewart has to dance his way around the defence, and the defence is rewarded for persistence. Steve Deacon it was that made the tackle on Ricky Stewart, forcing the turnover 32 metres away from the Canberra line. We're almost on halfway, so Eastern Suburbs with this final opportunity before the break. Lowry playing it back to O'Dwyer, 27 metres out from the line. This is Brendan Hall, I believe. In fact, it was Gaffey. Now across for Freeman. This is Smith, James Smith. 15 metres out. Still a couple of tackles remaining. Steve Deacon. That's number 5 now. To the blind for Freeman. Puts the grubber in, but it goes across the touchline in goal, so it'll come out.
Well, it's been touched, Ray. The referee, as he runs back under the post there, has ruled that Canberra somehow touched it. Nobody played at it, but it's hit someone on the way through. Gary Freeman knew that. He was pointing.
Well, I was watching Martin Weeks, the man with the flag. He waved it out and he pointed to the referee to go back to the 22. There he is waving his flag. We probably won't see it on that shot.
Yeah, well, the referee's ruled that David Boyle was the man who was hit by the ball going through his legs. So a final shot again for Eastern Suburbs. Probably won't have time to get through this set of 6.
It's a big drop kick by Ricky Stewart. Silva hands it back to Tony Cusado, and Cusado makes a fine run. They're 25 metres out from the line. O'Dwyer for the right to Tassel. Tassel reaches the 20. Wood makes the tackle with Lomax. O'Dwyer now to Freeman. This is Brendan Hall. A face ball over for Gaffey. Gaffey very hard to stop from this distance out. 2 metres from the line. Dummy half. Walker. It goes across again to Brendan Hall. And he's put down and put away. 8 metres out from the line. They're in the centre of the park though. Danger for Canberra. Fritz does well. Takes the attack to the ground. Holds it down for a while. Now Freeman tries to put the kick in. It came off the legs of Walters. No knock on against Canberra. And Canberra will safely ruck it away from their own line and take it to the half-time break, one would think. David Ferner plays it.
A little bit of time being added on here. We have had some injuries in this first half as Nadruku tries to go straight ahead. Can't beat the tackle. Canberra with a 4-point lead. Not looking to do anything silly here. Ricky Stewart again calling the play, bringing Lomax off his shoulder. As the siren sounds, they keep it alive.
Walters getting it across the back for Stewart. Never say die as far as Canberra's concerned, even if the siren has gone. And it was up to Eastern Suburbs to clean it up and put it over the line. That's the end of the first half. And Canberra goes to the break, enjoying a lead of 10-6, and Lady Luck is not smiling favourably on either. Brett Mullins looks like he might be gone for the night, and certainly Craig Salvatore. Canberra 10, East 6. In a moment, Peter Sterling with Teddy Goodwin. Players back on the field. Plenty of half-time entertainment has been cleared from the ground now. And Steve, what's the story on Craig Salvatore firstly?
Well, the Eastern Suburbs room resembles a war zone. Craig Salvatore, it's very hard to tell at the moment. The doctor said it'll take a couple of hours, if not tomorrow morning, to realise what's wrong, because there's plenty of swelling in their knees. But Craig assures me that he's feeling fine, and everyone at home, don't worry, you know, he's just got a bit of a knee injury. I'll go on to Michael Appleby. He's got a broken cheekbone and a broken nose.
Broken cheekbone?
Yes, he has. And Steve Deacon, they were putting a needle into his groin. at half-time, and he'll have an operation next week. So the Eastern Suburbs side, as I said, I don't know if they'll have enough to finish this game. In the Canberra room, Mullins looks like he will come back on. He has a rib injury.
Gee, that's a shocking injury.
Well, there's Brett Mullins. I know what you're going to say.
Appleby.
Shocking injury for Appleby.
Yeah, it's like he's gone up, he's come up with the missed tackle and unfortunately copped the boot, which can happen in this game. It doesn't happen that often, but gee, did a good job on it there.
Well, you'd hardly expect to come out of it with a broken cheekbone. Something that came up on camera is quite a simple thing. But that's the story on Appleby, as Freeman now sends the ball down, bouncing badly for Canberra, but eventually it's in the hands of Ken Nagus, one of the two try scorers, and he's brought down about 42 metres out from his own line. Nadruka coming off the left wing, folding in to take the first play or the first receiver job. Walters, and this is Pongia, who's been fairly busy for Canberra. He hasn't necessarily broken the line, but he's been a willing worker. Stewart kicks for himself. That's a good take there by James Smith.
Yeah, he did well there, James Smith. I was talking to Jack Gibson about James Smith a couple of weeks ago. He's got an enormous rap on the kid. He said he does lack a bit of mobility. He's actually fairly deceptive in his pace. He is slower than he looks. He does a good job when he comes on for Eastern Suburbs. And Gibson, certainly a Gibson-type player, good work rate. And he's done well since coming out there. That was a great take there to diffuse a little chip over the top from Stewart.
Casado. This is really a backs-to-the-wall effort for Eastern Suburbs now. Did Casado play that ball correctly is the question, as Freeman puts it in the air. Not a good kick by the Eastern Suburbs half, who would be the captain of the side now. Silva passing it back and kicked down the ground by Steve Deacon. Nagus coming away from that corner and outside the 10-metre line is pulled down and tackled, however, by Walker. Replacements galore on the park. East have only got the one left as far as I can establish. It'll be Tim Russell. The others have all been used and used quite extensively.
Well, the boys are getting a little bit excited out there at the moment. Tony Casado certainly not happy with proceedings. Gary Freeman having a few words to say to Graham Annesley, but then again, that's nothing new.
Just waiting for the ball to come back to the point of the scrum, 12 metres out from the Canberra line.
And Eastern Suburbs do like putting on plays here. The lock normally gets involved.
Well, you picked it right there. Gaffey it is that runs to the right. Freeman goes for the line. He's pulled down 2 metres out. Played back and away. Casado's with it. Casado swallows up a play. O'Dwyer.
Again, a suspect play the ball there, but they keep it alive, East.
Freeman gets a wide pass away for Brendan Hall. He's 5 metres out from the line. Look at Ricky Stewart screaming to players on the ground to get up and get in the line. Freeman to play it. 7 metres out from the line. There's a Canberra player, David Ferner. He can't get in the line. Gaffey tries to break through. He's pulled down on 5. Eastern Suburbs now with Orford. Tries to get a kick in. Ricky Stewart's everywhere again tonight. And he cleans up a couple of metres out from his line.
Some very important tackles made in that set of 6. Mal Meninga coming in on one occasion. If he hadn't have come up with the tackle, it was try time. He did, and he's come up with a very good charge there of 5 or 6 metres to centre field. He's taking a bit of pressure off his teammates, as does Steve Wallace, takes outside the 20.
Just looking at David Ferner, he's received some attention. He's back on his feet. There's a great picture there, though, of Stewart screaming at Ferner, who was down. There was little doubt what Stewart was saying. Get up and get in the line. Let's worry about the injury later, but David, he was non-compass.
He lost that ball there, Pongia. Brendan Hall appealing, but Ricky Stewart gets the kick away on the last tackle. Sits up once again for Rod Silver.
On the second bounce. Tackler is Croker. Freeman the dummy half. Prothero goes around David Ferner. Sean Hoppy brings him down. 10 metres into Canberra's territory. Fresh men coming on all over the place in this match.
Good shot from Lomax there. Run on defence as Casado hits it up again straight on the fringe of the ruck. He's had a good game again, Tony Casado.
He's right on the 30-metre line. O'Dwyer, Freeman puts the kick in. He chases, but Nagus is there. Freeman's the first player there. Cuts his legs from underneath him. Stewart tries to come away, but Freeman's around his legs, so it was 7 on 7. They don't see too much of each other in a game of rugby league. That time they came eyeball to eyeball. This is Matthew Wood. Walters turns it inside. Fritz comes back on that angled run back towards the markers. Big man Fritz runs powerfully, but Stewart, he's in his favourite role. He's the conductor. He's got the baton and he's telling them what to do, guiding them round the park. Silver plays it now, 30 metres out from his own line.
An excellent chase here from the Canberra chasers, led by David Boyle. Good front-on tackle on Rod Silver, and then came up with a second tackle. Fell asleep at marker there. And O'Dwyer takes a few pretty cheap yards.
Let's take a sideline comment from Steve.
Well, when Canberra got the football, they're playing right into the Eastern Suburbs' hands. They're running right next to the ruck, and Eastern Suburbs markers are the best in the business.
Freeman had to stop and go back for a bad pass. Tassel is wrapped up. They're 10 metres into the enemy territory. 5 tackles are gone. O'Dwyer's bomb is not a bad one. Nagus goes up for it. He got good protection, though, particularly from Meninga.
As Jim Smith was going through, looking at the ball all the time, and ran straight into the back of Mal Meninga. Ricky Stewart again. You can see he's lifted his performance, trying to drive these players. So too Meninga getting involved.
Paul Osborne getting ready to come on. Canberra have yet to use 3 of their replacements.
Well, a little bit of a scrap in the back there. Lomax and Steve Deacon, I think. Bit of a set 2.
Walker's on a long run, but he'll be beaten to the line, so the scrum will go down about 8 metres out. But a touch judge will probably come on here and make a report.
Well, let's hope not. There was nothing in it. Ricky Stewart, why wouldn't he be exhausted? Out with a big performance. You'll see in the background that the decoy player, the top right of screen, was taken out by the number 26.
That's Steve Deacon.
Steve Deacon.
Deacon and Lomax are the 2, but as Peter said, there's nothing in it. But what is happening at the moment is mandatory, but nobody seems to be too serious about it. Ricky Stewart and Graham Annesley having quite a chat.
It just seems to be all a repeat of the first half. It's been all Eastern Suburbs with 4 sets of 6s, and Canberra's defence has been tremendous. They just don't seem to be getting over the line like they did in the first half, Eastern Suburbs, and a bit more ball, and Canberra just could come back in the second period, in the second half.
This is Tassel, 20 metres out. Jason Death is coming on. David Furner to come off. O'Dwyer did some good work there to get a pass away. Only 10-6 down are Eastern Suburbs, but it's going to really take a top effort to get out and win this one against what looks like a very committed Canberra defence and a committed Canberra side. Now, scrum will go down. Brendan Hall losing the ball in the tackle.
Yeah, Jason Kroger very committed in his defence there. Picking up Hall, who was looking for support to keep it alive. Copypook driving tackle. Forces the ball loose.
6-3 the scrums to Eastern Suburbs, which means they've fed the ball 6 times to 3. Meninga brought down 20 metres away from the Eastern Suburbs line. Matthew Wood, a dummy half. Stewart on the right. Nice passing. Lomax finding Nagus. That was a good tackle out there, wide, made by Walker. Lomax plays it. There's still 20 out. Meninga goes the blind. Nagus combines out there with Hoppy. Nagus is back with the ball, and he goes for the line. The referee looks at the touch judge. It'll be a try. It is. Canberra's 3rd try of the night.
And great work from this replacement player. Nagus' 2nd try. And he was involved from the start. Mal Meninga gets a good ball. Look at this for quick hands. Great ball to Sean Hoppy. He's stayed alive, Nagus, and he still had plenty to do. Got outside Smith. went straight through Silva, and he took the pole over with him, but the touch judging good spot there. It'll look very nice from front on. Great work again.
Well, this is the first time Canberra have come up with a set of 6 inside Eastern Suburbs territory, and look what's happened. Nagus goes in for his second try, and like I say again, these guys love scoring tries, and they'll do me. If I had a team, they'd be in my team. I love tries.
Well, a questioning look there from Rod Silva, waiting to see whether, in fact, the try scorer had kicked the corner post before planting the ball down. And you probably won't get a harder conversion attempt from this. Gary Freeman laying the law down to his side. They must hit back straight away.
From the sidelines there. 25 out. David Furner will be replaced after this kick. Jason Death still on the sidelines waiting for him. As the ball leaves the boot, it's offline, so no change. But Canberra increasing their advantage to 14 points to 6.
Canberra Raiders replacement number 22, Jason Death.
We're back on the first tackle for Canberra following the restart of play. This is the second. Quentin Pongia brought down. Canberra leading by 14 points to 6 with 3 tries to 1 now. 2 of them scored by replacement Ken Nagus, the other by the Fijian import Noah Nadruka. Jason Death has come on to replace David Furner. He was injured probably about 8 minutes back now. Osborne is on. Stewart kicks down the ground. The ball looked to be going for the sideline, but then turned back in ground, and Prothero forced to take it back for the Eastern Suburbs side, and eventually he's wrapped up and put away by Jason Croker. David Furner off the field now. A long walk from where he attempted the conversion right in front of the Prindiville stand. He's just arriving back at the bench now. But the penalty has gone to Eastern Suburbs.
Ray, they seem to be attacking Sean Hoppy's wing. I'd be attacking Sean Hoppy's wing because he leaves about 20 metres in from the sideline. But they crab and they go across Canberra. Now, what Brendan Hall was looking for in that last tackle, that last set of 6, before he lost the ball and Canberra scored, was they needed an inside runner out there. And Salvatore was doing that in the first half, but he's missing.
O'Dwyer. Lord Ted Goodwin joining us in commentary tonight, and great to have him on board the ship. With, as Peter pointed out earlier, Paul Vaughton still recovering from Queensland's loss on Monday night.
You can say it, Ray, he's sulking. That's what he's doing.
Gaffey.
It's not a bad nickname, is it, Lord? It's better than Sterlo and Rapids.
Yeah, I can handle it, guys.
This is Smith. Eastern Suburbs prepared to try anything now. They're looking to squeeze passes. Freeman tries to hold them away, but now he plays the ball. O'Dwyer, 30 metres out, gets the kick off the left foot. Not a bad bomb from this kid. He can get a good kick away from dummy half. Here's a chance. Orford. Oh, Nadruka knocked it down. Referee looks for a whirling from his touch judge. Well, Nadruka, it could be the play of the game, believe me.
Well, it was a timely knockdown because it was going to be a try. The good kick put up and the chase. Nagus has flown way too early and a long way away. It's hit Osborne on the head. It's bounced into Jeff Orford's hands. And there's Nadruka. He knew exactly what he was doing. Eastern Suburbs scrum win.
It still mightn't be too late for the Roosters to put points on the board. Orford tries to make the break. Boyle closes the gap together with Nagus. From dummy half it goes away and back inside for Tony Casado. 15 out from the line, Casado. Wrapped up and put down by Paul Osborne. O'Dwyer finds Lowry. Lowry, he makes some ground, takes the tackle, gets it away for Casado. He's 5 metres out from the line. Now where's Freeman? He's on the left. He wants it. Here he is. Freeman holds it back, pops the dummy. Smith has got it. Now Silver. Silver tries to make the break, but there's no holes there in the Canberra defence yet. O'Dwyer runs to the blind, picks up Steve Deacon. Deacon's held 5 metres out. Tackle number 5. Canberra's defence great up to this point in time. Freeman tries to go over the top this time. Orford rakes it back and away. Brendan Hall puts it on the inside, and Eastern Suburbs put the ball down. And here's trouble. Here's this flying machine going down the ground. Ned Ruka.
What about the one-hand pickup on the run? Sensation. They go wide again.
Meninga gets a one-hander to Osborne. Back into the centre for Jason Deeth. Through a fragile tackle. He only needed support on the right, and they were under the bar. Canberra throwing it about now, showing Eastern Suburbs what they can really do. Stewart steps, gets inside, gives it to Ned Ruka. It's a forward pass. Annesley was right on the spot. Stewart knew it.
Forward pass way or deliberate. He looked the way he was in front.
Yeah,
exactly.
They won't use that penalty, Ted, but you're quite right. It's there, but they don't use it very often. But Annesley was spot on, and Ricky Stewart, no argument from him. He knew straight away that he'd thrown the ball forward. Prothero showed great speed to round up Ned Ruka in the early part of that great run down the ground. I thought Ned Ruka would just show them a clean pair, but Prothero wrapped him up very quickly.
It was some exciting action. Just have a look at this pickup from Nadruku. Left hand, one hand, away he goes. Didn't lose any speed at all.
Look at the speed shown by Prothero, though. If you think Ned Ruka can run, Prothero picked him up real quick. This is Tassel. He's through a gap. He's got 40 to go. Full back to beat. Support coming. Now they take it inside the quarter, but it's broken down. No, it's been recovered over there by Brendan Hall. O'Dwyer is down there, the number 9.
They've got big numbers to the right. It's the last tackle. You'd think they'd run the football. Freeman does.
It's with Lowry. Lowry goes towards the uprights. A basketball one-hander through James Smith. Out to Casado. Flicks it back. And Gaffey gets the try. What a pass by Casado. Oh, boy.
Length of the field stuff here. We've seen Canberra nearly score a try. Nigel Gaffey won't be out there too much longer. He'll be in the blood bin, but he'll be there as a try scorer. Mal couldn't do anything about it. They just didn't have the numbers, even though they scrambled nicely. Great ball from Tony Casado, and so was this one from Jason Lowry. The Statue of Liberty play. Finds Smith. He keeps the ball alive to Casado. Now he's got a couple of men outside, but he decides to do it himself. Knew it was the last tackle. Nagus misses the intercept. And Gaffey improves the position a little bit. Great hit back from Eastern Suburbs. Great try.
Hasn't it been a great passage of the game, though, Ted? We've been up one end of the park, then the other, then the other.
Well, this is what the fans like. They love attacking football, and here it is here. I see the Casado here. He knew from the last attack that the winger would go with his winger. He didn't try to throw it. He held the ball, threw a brilliant pass inside. And Nagus missed the ball, went for the ball. I thought he should have went for the man. But it's brilliant football at the moment. Great stuff to watch.
Second try of the year for Nigel Gaffey. And Eastern Suburbs right back in this. This would be handy for Brendan Hall. Down 14 to 10, he's missed it. No alteration to that scoreline then. Canberra leading East by 4 after 58. You're not playing golf anymore with us. Welcome back now. You've come back to the kickoff, the end of it. And I think that's young Russell that's out there now for Eastern Suburbs. Yes, it is. Now, who has he come on to replace in that Eastern Suburbs side? We'll work that out.
Well, he'd have come on for Nigel Gaffey in some form. Steve Roach, have you got some information about that fairly nasty cut?
Yeah, it is.
Nigel Gaffey.
Yeah, bad cut above the eye. But I've got to give a rap to Tony Casato. I've seen Eastern Suburbs play 3 times this year, and he's been their best player every time I've seen them.
Well, he's done some torrid work for Eastern Suburbs. He's not the biggest player in the side, but he takes the hit-ups, and then he's 2 rucks out and 2 plays out, I should say, and he's taking the wide ball. He's all over the place. Here he is now with Castle making this tackle. Incredible comeback by this man that wasn't required by his previous club. Western Suburbs it was. He's been to plenty of clubs, Casato. Resurrected by Jack Gibson. And he's leading the way for Eastern Suburbs. There's no doubt about what Blocker says. Lomax will play it. 14 points to 10. Canberra, 3 tries to 2. Stewart drops it onto the right foot. Oh, look at the precision of the man.
No, Ray, I got to bring you up. He kicked it with his left foot, and that was a sensational kick.
Was that his left foot, was it?
And Laurie Daly on the sideline there would love to be out the action. But wouldn't this be nice to have in your armoury? You can't kick on the right-hand side, so you just come back, drop a little one over the top, half a metre from touch, we'll pick up 30 metres.
There is not a skill in the game of rugby league that Ricky Stewart hasn't got, number 1, but number 2, he performs it repeatedly at a very high level. He's got every skill in the book, Ted, hasn't he?
Oh, I agree with you, Ray, and this is why he's New South Wales halfback, and his performance the other night in the State of Origin could earn him a spot as Australian halfback.
Well, here's the Roosters now. Pushing it up the hill, but they're only 4 behind. Shane Walker, he played that last ball. This is Russell. And we're led to believe that Gaffey will be stitched up and put back into the game. Blocker, is that right? That's the mail coming through to here.
Yeah, that'll be happening. Nigel Gaffey will just get that sewn up the top of his eye, and he'll be straight back out, I'm sure.
Brendan Hall in consultation with Freeman. Freeman's having a settling effect on this east side. Even when things are looking fairly grim, he's there talking and settling them down. There's no need for us to press the panic button. There's plenty of time left in this game yet.
Well, their confidence is fairly good at the moment, because they realise if that pass hadn't been forward from Ricky Stewart, I think the game was over. And they probably would have thought that as well. But within a set of 6 tackles and within a couple of minutes, they've scored a try, and they're right back into this match. Only 4 down, and Freeman is driving them. Smith leading the way on this occasion, tackled 21 out centre field.
He's banged down right in the centre of the ground, but there's a chance here because this is the great place to attack from. Russell pummeled to the ground by Lomax. That's hurting.
Well, it wasn't a bad shot, was he? He's come up with a couple out there. The scissors move involving Freeman. Throws the dummy.
Freeman opting to go himself. Not often does he do that, but there's the bomb going off that boot of O'Dwyer. Gee, you can put a bomb up this kid. Here's a chance. Casato gets it away. One of the replacements goes close to the line. It's 6 more tackles, says Annesley. Casato gets it away. Freeman pushes it on. Silver does likewise. Brendan Hall tries to break them. Gets the pass back. Freeman gets it away. Russell's back on his feet and put into touch.
Great tackle. Matthew Wood, great tackle. But they're having some trouble with the bombs. Ken Nagus really struggling when the ball goes to the air. Left much too early once again, and in fact his foot hit the ball. There's the kick from O'Dwyer. Now Nagus, watch him at the back there, flies now, and he kicks it straight into Tony Casato's hands.
Canberra, naturally enough, coming away with the scrum victory, and Meninga is wrapped up 12 metres out from his own line. Tell you what, this number 9 for Eastern Suburbs, Wayne Marshall's a good player, but this O'Dwyer, he lacks nothing, and gee, he can put a good bomb up.
Well, we discussed that when Russell only missed 1 game, I think, out of the top grade, or two games for injury, and he didn't get straight back into the side. And a mistake there, a bad mistake made by Canberra. He's done everything right, O'Dwyer. We questioned the decision to leave him in the top grade, but he's handled it very nicely.
Who was there to drop on that loose ball? You guessed it, it was Casato. They play at Eastern Suburbs on the 20-metre line, and wrapped up and put down is Walker. But here's a chance for Eastern Suburbs. Freeman calling his troops around him. Brendan Hall, he's brought down 15 metres out from the line. with East trailing by 4 points. Here's another chance. Freeman, long pass. Casado out in the centres. Pulled down and tackled 10 metres out. 5 tackles gone. What will they do? Freeman puts the grubber in. Cleaned up by Nagus. He could run the length of the field if he gets out of that tackle. He doesn't.
He had 4 blokes in front of him.
Mate.
He was on the fly, but he had 95 to go.
Turn it up. I've seen them both. They can both run, these two fellas, Nadruka and Nagus.
Well, another replacement on the sideline. Thick and fast here tonight. Steve Stone as Osborne looks to get a ball away, but no support there. Been under some pressure, the Canberra side. Eastern Suburbs looking for a way to make up this 4-point deficit. Mal Meninga bumps through 2.
Bit of vintage stuff there from Mal.
He's played well tonight, Mal. Apart from one missed tackle on that first try, defensively he's done some great things.
I've got to be honest with you, watching the early part of the game, Meninga and Stewart, was like the old Warriors were just taking a bit of time to get the kinks out of the body following Monday night, and as the game went on, they both started to stretch out more freely. Silver plays it back and Prothero goes away. Gaffey's ready to come back on. The number 26 is Stone for Canberra.
And while those replacements are getting ready to come on, a mistake made there by Eastern Suburbs, and knock on. So Canberra with a scrum feed, only 20 out.
The tempo of Canberra's picked up after that kick, and Eastern Suburbs, it took them about 3 tackles to get back there, and they still weren't in position. And the last time they were down here, Canberra did score after an error.
Well, you made the point that was the first time that Canberra had the ball for 6 tackles in East Territory, and I think your simple way of putting it was, look at what they've done. They scored a try. Let's see if they can do it again this time. There's the first tackle expiring 20 metres out from the Eastern Suburbs line. Now that is young Ferner, I believe, back on the park. Correction, it was Jason Deeth. Walters goes across, shows it twice, runs himself. Something that Steve Walters hasn't done a lot of tonight. Maybe he's feeling the effects of it as well. Monday night I'm talking about. Away and out along the line for Meninga to put it on the chest of Nagus, who juggled it. He's wrapped up and put down 15 metres out from the line.
Steve Walter's been unable to run from there because the defence has been so good from Eastern Suburbs. Steve Roach mentioned the market defence as one of their superior parts of their players. Stewart sets for the field goal. Is it successful?
They normally are, and up goes the hand from Annesley, robot-like. And a further point goes on the Canberra total. They lead by 5 in Friday night football. Back here at the WACA ground, local officials will be very happy. This crowd, for the 3rd year in a row, has exceeded 20,000. 20,436, in fact. The crowd figures for the 3rd time in a row, just over the 20,000 mark, as Stewart keeps his team out of that danger area with that precision-like kick. And the scrum will go down about 20 metres away from the Eastern Suburbs line. It's such a big ground in many ways. As far as grandstand accommodation is concerned, you can tend to say to yourself, well, where are they? But then you look again and you say, well, that's full and that's half full.
Yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed we're stuck up in the box up here, Ray. Steve, what is the atmosphere like out there? It's very hard to pick up from where we are just whether this is a vocal crowd or not.
Yeah, they are. They're very vocal. The good thing about them is they cheer for both sides, although Canberra are a bit more the favourites tonight.
Eastern Suburbs coming up with the ball, but also appearing to take it over the touchline. So this could be an interesting ruling here for Annesley. It will probably be a Canberra feed.
Yes, he's ruled that way. He's ruled that Eastern Suburbs came up with the mistake of taking the ball over the line. You see a little bit of help there from Paul Osborne.
The Canberra back line is very deep for this play. Boyle. Midway between the halfway and the 20-metre line. Stewart coming around from the right to the left and working with Meninga. And the captain has pulled down right on the 30-metre line. They're still very much in the centre of the park. Jason Deeth, reserve great hooker for Canberra. And he's out there at the moment, replacing young David Furner. Now away for Stewart, and across now from Lomax, and back for Stewart. Steps away from 2, puts Lomax further down the ground. Lomax has pulled down 8 metres from the line. 5 gone. Dummy half, Steve Walters. Stewart's on the right. He wants it, looked to switch it, but didn't, and then pushes it on further. Steve Stone, grubber kicks. They're fairly big in goals here. Probably the maximum, but that's too deep.
Well,
and back to the 22 for the restart.
The idea was right, Ray, but just wasn't executed well. Another replacement goes on. Tim Russell once again back out there. Canberra looking to keep the play down this end of the field and retain possession, but the kick from Stone just too long.
Jeff Orford banged into the ground there by Paul Osborne.
I actually thought Stewart might have opted to take another field goal there just to put them 6 clear. I think he could sniff that a try might have been on out wide. Wasn't the case.
15-10. A score that we come in contact with all that much, so there could be quite a healthy dividend waiting there for pick the score. 15-10. It wouldn't be, I wouldn't think, a common pick.
I've just got to say, I said earlier in the game that it had been an unhappy start from David Boyle, but he has made up for it. Great front on defence there on 2 occasions. His work running the football has been very good, so a slow start from him, but he has found his own the longer this game has gone.
Pongia. Around the corner pass was a good pass. Croker did well too to get down and pick it up. But he stayed alert, and that was most important. Walters gives it for Deeth to go ahead.
Croker now on the wing. Nadruku has been replaced. Fritz back into the fray.
Look at that pass by Stewart. Across out for Wood. Wood for Boyle. Boyle tries to step his way through. He had Matthew Wood backing him up on the inside, but he couldn't get the pass away. Wood goes to dummy half, and Steve Stone is able to pinch another 5 metres for the Canberra Raiders. They're sailing along cosily at the moment, the Raiders, and now it's fed back for a long-range drop attempt by Ricky Stewart. His kick has gone right across the face of the uprights. They'll have to hurry here. Prothero, will he get back into the field of play? No, he won't. That's a great play by Canberra. They've had 2 chops at the cherry. Look at Ricky Stewart applauding his chasers.
Yeah, it's a big play. That Jason Croker leading the way. He's out on the wing. What a valuable player he is for Canberra, slotting into a couple of positions. Prothero had a little bit of difficulty getting the ball to sit for him. Croker ended up, he didn't come up with the clean tackle, but he did enough to put the man on the deck.
Stewart getting underneath it to send Big Fritz back on the warpath, the big fella. Back 30 metres out from the line. Walters using Osborne now. And this injury toll starting to take its effect on Eastern Suburbs, as we see Canberra with more fresh replacements thrown into the game late. Oh, gee, was that a clash. Tassel and Lomax.
He's come out of it badly as East go wide straight away and have made a bust.
Prothero, is it? Wrapped up over there, Walker it was. Freeman gives it for Russell to go across the halfway mark. Tassel's back on his feet with some assistance. They really came together, Tassel and Lomax. Freeman pushing it on. Deacon gives it for Walker to go inside. Then it's back for little Freeman, backing up as he does. He comes to Jason Deeth and he's wrapped up 20 metres out from the line. Deacon, this is James Smith crossing the 20. Dummy half O'Dwyer. Silver's up in the back line. Casado calls it right. Penalty goes to East right in front, but now he's bringing the mark across.
Well, 5 down. You've nearly got to go for the try here. Running out of time. That's what they've done. O'Dwyer looking for Lowry to take the ball forward. He's only 2 metres out. They need a converted try to go to the lead here.
O'Dwyer passing left for Freeman to give it on, and then Brendan Hall works with Gaffey. Gaffey back on the park. Pulled down 3 metres from the line.
Again, Boyle low. Great tackle.
Away from dummy half goes Steve Deacon. Just short of the line. That would be their 3rd tackle on this set. James Smith goes for the line, but he's forced back. Canberra's defence They're keeping it tight, guarding the play the ball area. Freeman away for Lowry. Lowry pops it onto the chest of Brendan Hall. Hall gets it back. O'Dwyer follows him through the same channel, but he's pulled down. 5 metres out. This is the last. Away for Freeman. Can he do something with it? Gaffey finds Freeman. Freeman made the extra man. Jeff Orford. Flick passes. Freeman dives. And it comes away with Nakers for Canberra.
What about the defence? Have you ever seen desperation on an attacking side and a defending side like that? They knew it was the last tackle, had to keep the ball alive. It looked like an acrobat there, Gary Freeman. What about the strength of Orford here, staying in? Got a good ball back, Freeman going for the try. Tried to get the pass away. It's just very good football from both sides. Good run, Fritz. Takes it 25 out, centre field. We've only got 5 or 6 minutes to go. So that was a big play there from Canberra to keep their line intact. And again, Fritz takes good yards up the middle.
Still very strong, Fritz, particularly in the hit-up department. Stewart's kick, a long raker.
And here's Mullins back on the field for Canberra, leading the chase. Comes up with a good tackle.
Gets to the ground fast,
Well,
then
he's
Brett
been
Mullins.
penalised here.
Referee Annesley ruling that Mullins was in front of the kicker.
I don't know whether, I don't think Mullins was. I think that the other players who came in to help.
No, he
been
wasn't
ruled.
offside. You're
There
quite right.
There you see there, Russell Mullins.
Brett.
Brett Mullins. Oh, I do have some trouble with that family.
You see, Pete, only the kicker can put players onside.
Exactly.
A bloke coming from an onside position, as Mullins did, he's not putting people onside. He doesn't have that.
That's right, so the referee spot on there. The other players encroaching in that 10 metres. Not long for Eastern Suburbs to go here. They've got 60 metres to travel. And it's got to be a converted one if they can get it over the line. So some desperation stakes here as we enter the last 5.
Freeman pushing it away for Brendan Hall to cut out Casado and asking Gaffey to go ahead. Gaffey makes the halfway line. Eastern Suburbs, they've got very little time. Just under 3 minutes of the match remaining. Canberra leading 15-10. And everybody was asking the question, can the Origin players come back? Well, Belcher and Daly didn't make it. But Meninga, of course, has done that. And so has Rick Stewart. They've come back, answered the question. And, of course, Eastern Suburbs, their lone State of Origin player was hurt and taken off about 2/3 of the way through the first half. Canberra showing that they're going to be a force in this Winfield Cup of 1993. They've been battling along without Bradley Clyde for the major part of the season. And again tonight, they've taken on one of the top dogs of the Winfield Cup, Eastern Suburbs, with no Clyde, no Belcher, no Daly. And Stewart and Meninga backing up.
And some unsung heroes out there, been used very well by Tim Sheens. Fritz has really had a good last 5 minutes here, taking the ball out strongly just when Canberra know that they can't play the ball game down their end of the field.
Freeman in a deep position, fielding the kick from Stewart. Silver's been well contained. He hasn't been able to make one of those flashing breaks that we've come to expect. Freeman pushing it across out wide. And that player out there was in fact Brendan Hall, but look at this Canberra defence. It's growing. It's not slackening. It's just as intense. They're hitting in 2s and 3s, and they're not happy until the job has been done. Lowry plays it. They go for Freeman, and he tries to put Silver up the centre, but Lomax blocks the centre up again. 33 metres out from the line. Their own line, unfortunately, for Eastern Suburbs, and Gaffey gives James Smith a passage down the ground. Now it's Gaffey again in the play. This is Orford. He flick passes out the back. Dale Fritz is sitting back there. He picks it up and was able to get the pass away. He was just minding his own business back there. Darren Fritz, not Dale.
What about the Canberra players? Had a committee meeting there for a little while. Nearly created a shepherd. Fortunately, no tackler was impeded. But Steve Wallace gets a little bit of sanity back into proceedings. A couple of tackles left, and again we'll see Stewart drive the ball down the next tackle. Steve Stein out of dummy half, takes it inside the 50. So one more to Fritz. He's done a good job for them. Stewart on the right-hand side of the ruck. That's who Steve Wallace looked for. There's some pressure coming on him. What? Now he drives the ball in low. Difficult one here to pick up for Shane Walker. He does well.
Walker coming 15 metres out from his line. There's the siren. It's over, and Canberra have defeated Eastern Suburbs by 15 points to 10. That should return a footy tab dividend for you of $331.30. Pick the score 15 to 10 in favour of the Green Machine. And you can expect $331.30.